Hi everyone, thanks for attending our first virtual open day. This afternoon we're here with Graham, Martin and Nikki from our sports department. So they're here to answer your questions and give a bit of introduction into the sports courses at West Lothian College and why you should choose to study with us. So over to you guys. I want to start with Graham and what you teach.
Okay, so I'm the course tutor for the HNC Sports Coaching course, which is a one-year full-time course that is designed to try and get people into either PE teaching, into active schools, into being a PE specialist, or maybe being a sports development officer. So typically we get people that will come from high school that will have maybe 2 hires underpinning it, or we will get people that are mature learners, maybe a bit of life experience behind them, and they'll come and join us for the 1 year. And then hopefully after that, they've got 2 destinations where they're either going to go into employment or they're going to go to university. So that's what the sports coaching is all about.
Perfect. And over to you, Martin.
So I'm the course tutor for the football programmes here at West Lothian College. So we have 3 of those. We've got a part-time girls and football course. We've got full-time level 5 football development and full-time level 6 football development. Now, these courses are geared at showing people how you can still have a career in football if you aren't a player. Now, you will develop as a player through all the courses and things that we do, different subjects, but you will also have your eyes open to the possibility of a coaching role, a leadership role, whether it's maybe physiotherapy, sports science, anything along those types of careers that can still keep you involved within football. Progression from there is onto Graham's HNC Sports Coaching, and onto that you can move into employment as well.
Perfect, thanks Martin. And Nikki, over to you.
Okay, so I am the coach tutor for HNC Fitness, Health and Exercise. That programme is designed for those of you that are looking to work in the fitness industry. You can also do a second year, which is your HND. If you complete your HNC, you'll have your REPS Level 2 gym qualification, and you'll do part of your personal training qualification as well. And we've got really strong links with Excite for your work placement, etc. It's quite an academic course, but you get out what you put into it. I am also the course tutor for the Uniform Public Service Programme, and that is for those who want to obviously go into the services. We have really strong links with the Army, the Royal Marines, the Royal Navy, Police Scotland, Fire Scotland. So that's really, it's a little insight into all of those different services. It's quite outdoorsy as well in terms of the lap reading, the hill walking elements. So we do ask that you're physically fit and that you do have your own walking shoes as well.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks for that, guys. So the first question that we've had sent in from some for applicants or potential applicants is, what courses still have spaces to start in 2020-21?
I think that most of them do have a few. I know for uniform services that certainly has a couple of places. HNC Fitness, Health and Exercise and HND Fitness, Health and Exercise. We're always looking to take more.
Perfect, thanks for that. Yeah, another question that we've had through is, you mentioned progression of students. Do you have examples of where students have went on to after studying a sport and fitness course at West Lothian College?
Okay, I'll maybe take that one. So we're very lucky that we've got a pathway that goes all the way from level 4, SCQF level 4, all the way through to SCQF level 8. So you're going on a journey from your intermediate 1 as it used to be, or level 4, and all the way through to your HND. So we've had students that have done the full pathway of doing internal progression, so they're moving from level 5 into maybe a higher course, into an HNC course and into an HND course. But once you finish either your HNC or HND, then you are looking to either get into employment or you're looking to get into university. So this year, from my HNC Sports Coaching course, I know that I've got 6 students that have got either conditional or unconditionals to get into a mixture of either Stirling University, Nathan University or Edinburgh University. So that's one pathway. Or alternatively, because you're doing so many work experiences through the college, every single course you do will have a work experience linked to it. You're gaining a lot of networking skills. You're gaining a lot of chances to meet the employers, meet all the people that are the movers and shakers in the industry. So it's quite regular that our students will move into employment with a underpinning qualification, usually because they've done so well on their work experience that they've dazzled them with their attendance, their punctuality, their attitude, and with an underpinning qualification they got from the college, then that's where the employment opportunities will usually kick in, which is great for the students.
Perfect. Can I ask a bit more about the industry partners that you have? So Nikki kind of touched on that, working with Excite, for example, working with the fire brigade, police. What other organisations do you currently work with for placements for students?
So on the football course, we work quite closely with the SFA. The SFA have put our learners through their coaching qualifications in both football and futsal, which instantly makes them employable. We work with the West Lothian Youth Foundation as well. They host a lot of our placements, which again can lead to employment. And we work with a lot of the local clubs as well, building up those volunteering hours, building up that experience to then make our students again more employable, give them more hours under their belt so that they can go into paid positions.
Yeah, for both HNCs, the HNC Fitness, Health and Exercise and the sports coaching, I think we cover all the brands of the sectors. So we regularly link in with the private sector, whether it's clubs, organisations. We regularly link in with the public sector, in particular West Lothian Council, who we have strong links with active schools. And we also link in quite strongly with the voluntary sector as well, which is where a lot of our students will pick up the vital experience for moving on and doing their coaching or doing their volunteering of learning their trade and getting their craft down. Perfect.
Yeah, that's ideal. So it sounds like there is a lot of placement opportunities. So how often are students out on placements? Is it done in blocks or is it done one day a week? How does that work?
I think it just varies from course to course. Some of them, for uniform services, they tend to go out on a week intensive training either with the Army or the Marines, whereas the HN coaching, the HN fitness, I know they definitely would maybe do a day a week or a couple of days a week over the space of a few weeks, or it could be throughout the year. But we always encourage people to, have been volunteering in some capacity before they come on one of the courses as well, so it gives them a little bit of experience. Mark, I'm not sure about your kind of the placement side of it and how often they go out, or
our guys typically have went out for a full block, but what we are looking to do with them this time is to actually send them out every week from the beginning at level 6. So the way that I look at it, the more hours that you can get, the better experience you're going to gain and the better coach you're going to become.
Yeah.
I would say as well that one of the most common questions we always get is it a full-time course? And because we have, for all the courses, it doesn't matter whether it's level 4, 5, 6, 7 or 8, all the courses, we have our students in for 2.5 days a week, which we call contact. And we've got them in for 2.5 days of non-contact, which is when they'll be doing their research, they'll be doing their homework, they'll be doing study things. But that's when we want our students to be doing some work experience. So very often we're telling them that it is part of their course, and we want them to go out and volunteer and gain amount of hours that they'll get for the qualification. But all of the industries that are involved in sport, fitness and exercise, it's tough to sometimes get a job in there. So the more experience you can gain, that's why we give you 2.5 days to yourself, where we hope you're going to start volunteering, not because we're telling you to, but because it's so crucial to your progression into any course or industry you want to take up.
Yeah, perfect. So what you're saying is don't spend your 2.5 days in the pub then?
That'd be a good shout, yeah.
Perfect. So now a couple of questions that we have here. What are the sports facilities at the college like? So obviously we've got a fairly new gym, which was built in 2014-15. Would you be able to run through some of the facilities that we do have at the college, particularly for the practical courses?
Yeah, so in terms of, in fact, all the courses or the whole college have access to the gym that you just mentioned there. That just recently had an upgrade to its equipment just the summer of last year, so it's now all Technogym that's in there. We've got a massive sports hall, which I believe is the biggest sports hall in West Lothian. I think it still is. Yes. And that's available for students to use as well, obviously in their leisure time through the sports club membership that they have. The college is always part of the Triple S, the Scottish Student Sport Initiative as well. So there's always the opportunity for students to go away and represent the college at whatever sports are available to them.
Yeah, for the football course, we are partnered with Muirston United Football Club. So that means that we get full use of their facilities. So they've got an 11-a-side and a 7-a-side 3G. We use their clubhouse as a classroom for us as well, which is fantastic. It means that we're not having to go back and up and down between the college and Muirston, as we can do our theory and our session planning in the clubhouse, and we can go out and apply it practically. And as Nikki said, it's the It's the biggest sports hall in West Lothian. It's an official size futsal court, which even Edinburgh University, Stirling University don't have. So that's quite unique for us to have that on our doorstep.
As well as that, for the sports coaching side of things and for the fitness, health and exercise, we've got a dance studio, which is really good for doing our exercise to music, for doing our stretching techniques, for doing any prevention and rehab, where we're trying to use a cooled, small, intimate environment. But as Martin was also touching on, through the partnerships that we have, if we're ever stuck with a facility or a bit of equipment, then with the links that we have with our community, so the sports coaching guys will regularly go up to the Livingston Rugby Club, we can use their facilities, or likewise, they'll find that they'll be using our facilities too. So the partnerships are really quite unique and really positive for the students, that we've got so many places we can rent, use, or just utilise.
Yeah, so that's useful. So it sounds like there is a wide array of facilities that sports students and all students can use on campus. So kind of keeping to that theme, what sports clubs do we currently have at the college, and how can students get involved with them?
We have a sports coordinator called Mel Currell, and she coordinates all that. So I think the sports that are on offer, I think currently for Triple S would be like football, rugby, badminton, basketball. There's also the opportunity to do some individual sports there as well. But in terms of the sports facilities at the college, you can pretty much play anything that will. It's so adaptable.
Yeah, so just on that, the amount of extracurricular sports you can do. So as Nikki was touching on there, we've got multiple teams that you can represent. So you don't have to be a sport, fitness and exercise student to represent the college. You can be any student at all, full-time or part-time. But we'll usually find that the majority of our teams are made up of the sport fitness students, because that's their background, that's their skill sets, and that's what they really enjoy. So I'm sure Martin will tell you a bit more about the football in a second, but we do have a college rugby team that competes regularly in friendlies. And with that, we've even taken students abroad with the college rugby team to go and visit fixtures in France, and to travel and to see how professional setups organise their training, their coaching, their feedback, and the actual their gameplay and their analysis of that. So we try to tie in a lot of the sports into the course. But yeah, the chance to play sport for your college and represent that and build up your TV is something that's pretty cool as well. But that's rugby. About the football.
Yeah, from a football perspective, we've got a men's team which is open to anyone, as Graham said, that's full-time or part-time. As long as you're a student, you're eligible to represent the college. We've got a women's section as well, which has really grown in the last few years. So we've got football and futsal available for our female players. And as again, we've got plenty of opportunities to travel with that one. We've been down to Sunderland and played down at their academy at the Beacon of Light, which is an unbelievable facility and a great opportunity for our guys to go down and experience it and see it. We also went over to Paris for the Women's World Cup, and we got to see Scotland play Argentina, which again was probably up there with one of the highlights of our sports department in the last wee while. Just being able to be part of such a fantastic event, and having our players go over and experience that was something they won't forget.
Yeah, so that's obviously something that I am aware of at the college, is the international trips the sport and fitness students go on. So is it Club La Santa that the students used to go to? I'm not sure if that's still on the go. You talk about the France trip, skiing trips, for example. So what international trips can sport and fitness students currently go on at the college?
I think it just really depends what's available and if the opportunity allows. Just depends really. Depends what's offered.
So for example, go for it, Graham.
No, just that each year, depending on the cost, or depending on the availability, the travel, there might be a fixture, or as Martin says, a tournament. There might be something that'd be really quite beneficial for the students to get an understanding of, or just experience, or to try and widen their own horizons. So it's really an individual case. If we have a year that if we can find something that would tie into them, that would make it quite interesting or course relevant or benefit them in some way, then if we can organise a international trip, we do try and do so. Some years it's not so easy, just with finances or with travel restrictions, but other years we've been lucky and we've been able to do some wonderful things as a department. Yeah.
Perfect. So just a couple more questions that have been sent in to us. Number one is, should I be preparing for the course with any reading or research prior to starting?
I would say absolutely. Regardless of what level of the course is, the more you can underpin it. What we always find is two things. We always ask people, what do you know about the course? That's one of the first questions we'll always ask you at interview, just to make sure you really do know what you're setting yourself up for, because sometimes the title will get people quite excited that they'll hear the words H&C Sports Coaching and they think they'll be doing a lot of running around in the games hall and just playing sports, when maybe there's quite a lot of theory that they'll be quite surprised at how much they're going to be in a classroom. So we'd always encourage them to make sure they read the content of the course and to make sure they know what they're getting themselves in for. But once they've done that, I think it also gets quite exciting. They're going to be studying nutrition, they're going to be studying anatomy, they're going to be studying sports coaching styles and motivational factors and these kind of things. So we'd always encourage any student to just make sure they really know what they're applying for. It's not a big surprise when week one, day one, when we maybe are based in a classroom. So that's one thing. Second thing, another way you can prepare, I'd also say, is you need to work on your personal fitness. So again, every course that we have, they all have practical elements, and we'd always encourage you to make sure that you're maintaining your personal fitness, that you can hold your own when we're doing sports and activities. You don't need to be a superhero, you don't need to be a multi-stage fitness. We just need to know that you can, you're maintaining your own fitness and looking after yourself as well. That's maybe from the sports coaching side of things.
Perfect. Do you guys have anything to add to that, Martin or Nikki?
I would just echo what Graham was saying. There's as much as you can do is obviously going to be of benefit to you, but I would really encourage people to know what they're applying for, to read the prospectus, to read our online materials so that they know what the course contains. For example, on the football courses, yes, it is very, very football practical based, but there are elements to it. You do need to know about health and safety. You do need to know about first aid. So there will be times when we will be studying those things, obviously from a footballing perspective, but there will be some learning that will need to take place.
Yep.
What I would say as well is, in terms of, although the course full-time is only maybe 3.5 days a week, each student or each learner is encouraged to spend that same amount of time out with college, studying and looking over their notes that they've maybe learned that week. What I'd also say as well, in terms of uniform services, they also do the Duke of Edinburgh Bronze Award. And with that in mind, a lot of that's in their own time as well. So it's just to be aware of that. It's been written into the programme that they have to do it if they've not already done it. So there is an expectation that they have to go and source a volunteer and placement and all these kind of things. And that's generally done in their own time as well.
Perfect, thanks. So the final question that was sent in to us is, what advice would you give to applicants or potential applicants who are thinking of studying sport and fitness at West Lothian College?
I would say, just very quickly, I think that a lot of students that try to make the jump immediately from high school to university struggle. Where the jump from being into the high school environment where you're quite supported and there's a lot of safety nets and so on, to go straight into university, a lot of students will struggle, and just with that massive leap. But if you're sometimes maybe quite a young student as well, we find that the college, creating that bridge between high school and university, is a really good thing. And a lot of people have benefited from just taking that 1 year just to grow, to mature, just to find their feet a little bit more, to start understanding how to do dissertations, how to prepare their CV. And these are all things that the college can offer that perhaps just as that stepping stone. So I would offer that as advice, that you might think that, yeah, you might have the qualifications to get straight into university, but maybe sometimes just to do that 1 more year of just of preparing yourself and growing up a little bit more physically, emotionally, I think does a lot of people a lot of good and just sets them up better for that university career.
Perfect. What about yourself, Martin and Nikki? What advice would you have for applicants or potential applicants?
I would actually just say, if you live in West Lothian, why would you apply to any other college? We've got students who in the past have went elsewhere and then came to us to continue on with their studies and thought, oh, why didn't I go there first? So I would say, if you live in West Lothian, don't go anywhere else, come to us. And
anything to add from yourself, Martin?
Yeah, I just think that when people know what they want to do as a career, and if it is going to be in sport and fitness, they need to consider, would they like to just study that as a subject? And if that is the case, then you can come to college. As we've said already, we have courses from level 4 right through to HND. So we have them at every increment possible, whether you were a school leaver, an S4, or you didn't quite make university, or you're an adult returner. There are different levels of course for you, and if it's really what you want to do and it is your passion, there is a course there for you.
Perfect. Yeah, so that is all the questions that we have today. So unless there's anything else that you guys want to add, then that kind of ties us up for the session today.
I would just say very quickly that the interview process is really informal. So sometimes people see the word interview and they think it's going to be quite scary and quite anxiety-ridden, but actually the interview process, what will happen is you're just going to meet a member of staff just like us, and all we're going to do is we're going to have an informal conversation with you. And if we feel that having listened to your qualifications and your experiences and a bit more about you, we've found a bit more about you, that we can will best be able to allocate a course to you. We can have that conversation, listen to what your aspirations are, what you'd like to do as a job and a career, and we can guide you. We can support you. Maybe might not have been the course that you necessarily thought was for you, but we've got lots of years of experience behind us that we're pretty good now at telling a student this is where we see the course being for you, and we can support you in this way. And so it's not a nervous thing. It's a really nice conversation. You get to ask questions of us. You can ask anything at all and find out a bit more about the course, about who we are and what we do. But by asking those questions, we can usually tailor a course and make it relevant for you.
Perfect. Yeah, that's really useful, Graham. Thanks for that. Yeah, so thanks everybody for tuning in to our virtual open day today. If you have any other questions, feel free to email us at marketing@west-lothian.ac.uk. Visit our website or message us on social media, and we will be happy to help you out. Our staff are still working virtually at the moment for teaching, interviews and applications, so please don't hesitate to submit your application as soon as possible before courses fill up. Thanks very much. Cheers, guys.